guys, so did you see this week's episode of Arrow? Because we finally found out who's in that fucking grave. Before we talk about that, let's cover some other things that happened in the episode, like John Diggle being fucking savage towards Oliver and telling him why Felicity left him. Ouch! Damn, Diggle. There was one thing that totally pissed me off in this episode, and that was freaking Malcolm Merlyn and the League of Assassins going to get the idol. If Oliver knew how important this fucking idol was, why would you piece it back together? Why wouldn't you just get a hammer and start crushing all of the fucking pieces and grind it and then ship it all off to different freaking Zimbabwe and New Zealand and every piece in the world? Why would you keep it to allow somebody to break into your freaking place, steal it back, and then be like, oh yeah, all we gotta do is hide one piece. They'll never find one piece. Like, what? That is the stupidest idea ever. It would have been better for the show for them just to like grind the hell out of that idol. Don't even give them a chance to get it back. But then freaking Dark still finds another way to become powerful. That throws a curveball at the team, puts them in a more like, holy shit, how are we gonna beat this guy moment? And they're gonna have to find a better way to beat this guy. That's the kind of stuff our heroes should have to overcome, not their own stupidity. You're killing me here. I want to point out, I know that we all bitch about the whole Olicity thing and how it's just running down the show and it's just like, oh my god, I'm tired of it. But what about freaking Merlyn versus Speedy? How many times are we gonna see them fight and none of them die? Like, that fucking fighting system needs to be done already. Like, Speedy, kill Merlyn. He is the source of all your freaking problems. Just kill him. If you can't do it, Oliver, bro, step in, protect your sister, kill that dude, because holy fuck, every season's been because of that guy. He's the biggest villain on the show, and y'all guys keep letting him live. If you want to stick to the whole don't kill people system, then just cut off his other arm and both of his legs. He'll technically still be alive, and he won't be able to freaking fight you guys anymore. Let's jump over to John Diggle's brother turning out to be the person we thought he was, and Diggle being like, oh bro, he could come back from this. No fucking Diggle, he worked for an evil organization, and you thought he was just gonna do a 180? Hell no. We saw that John Diggle's brother returned the last piece of the freaking puzzle to Damien Dark, and he got all his powers back, and he was like, eh. Diggle's all shocked that his brother turned on him. Like, really, dude? All of that leads up to Damien Dark about to kill Laurel, and then all he's able to like break out of his shit and shoots an arrow, but Damien Dark catches, and he's like, impressive. Is Oliver gonna get strong enough to break magic? Interesting. Is it a willpower thing? Because, oh man, that would be pretty cool if we see a fight between them and magic is not involved. Anyways, Damien Dark takes that arrow that he caught and shoves it in Laurel all deep in her lung, and she's like, and then Damien Dark just lets go of the magic hold, and Oliver runs to freaking Laurel, and he rushes her to the hospital. Like, if you're an evil, diabolical dude, why didn't you just go like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna hold you there, and you're gonna watch her die. Like, you know how brutal that would have been? And heartbreaking, and Oliver could have just started crying there like, no, don't do this. Like, that would have been heartbreaking. But no, they didn't do that. She got to the hospital, she went through surgery, she freaking survived it, and she had all this time in the world to freaking tell Oliver, like, I love you, I hope you and Felicity work out, blah, blah, blah. I loved being the canary, this and that. Ultimately leading to her telling Oliver that I need you to promise me something, and they cut away. So we don't hear what Laurel told Oliver to promise her. Before that, Detective Lance finds out that Laurel's in the hospital, and he's like, I gotta fucking get over there, and he finds his way to get out of the freaking handcuffs and shit and rushes his way to the hospital. But it's too late because freaking Laurel starts going into convulsions and stuff, and she's dying, and she ends up dying, and everybody's in the room like, oh my god, and they all start crying and shit. Oliver walks out like super sad, and who walks in? Freaking Detective Lance, and he's too late to see his daughter. Cue heartbreak. With the death of the Black Canary, there was so many different reactions that totally caught me by surprise. One, people were like, why the fuck wasn't Detective Lance the last person she talked to? I don't know, maybe the writers just wanted to close the door on that whole freaking Laurel Lance Oliver love story because everybody wants Felicity. This pretty much solidifies the whole Olicity love triangle. Like, they killed off his only other love interest, especially from the comics. Like, Black Canary is the person he marries and all that shit in the comics, and they just killed her off because they're like, Olicity's gonna fucking happen. There's no telling where the show's gonna go from here. The craziest thing I saw was that people were really upset that Laurel died, and they're like, fucking cancel Arrow, I'm tired of this, shut down this show, blah blah blah. And I was like, what? I personally thought she was one of the worst parts of this show, and I'm kind of like glad she's gone. I didn't really think that her character was really adding much to the story. She was a secondary Black Canary. She's nowhere as good as the first one, and she just seemed to be another person to get mad at Oliver, like all the time, but it had more emotion behind it because they used to bang. I didn't think Laurel had that big of a fan base, but people are so upset that she freaking died. But I don't know, I think it's better. They needed somebody. I didn't really think that her character was more impactful. If Felicity would have died, now that would have been a game changer. You would have been like, what? But of course, the show is putting all its cards on the table for you to see. And it's like, oh, did you not see this card? We're totally going to make Felicity happen, and we're going to knock out every freaking barrier of this getting in their way. It's going to happen. Writers, you need to wake up. Felicity is killing the show. Anyways, let's get back to that promise that we didn't hear about. That whole secret is supposed to be revealed in freaking season 5. Yeah, we're not going to hear it in season 4. We're going to hear it in season 5. What kind of freaking promise could make you wait till season 5? I swear, if this promise is something along the lines of like, you need to marry Felicity, like no matter what you do, never give up on Felicity, fuck you, Arrow writers. If you seriously make that promise about him not giving up on the whole Felicity relationship, that is going to be the stupidest thing you can do, and you should all be fired. The promise should be something like, look, the Black Canary needs to live, you need to go and find Sarah, you need to bring her back, and she needs to help you protect this city. That would be better. 1, we get the Black Canary back. 2, we get Sarah back. 3, that brings in another possible love interest that Oliver has loved before, and that brings more conflict into the whole relationship. Even if you're still going to try to force the damn Felicity thing, Sarah could get in the way and totally kick fucking Felicity's ass, and they're just better together because they can fight together and be like, wow, we're crime fighters, where Felicity's behind a computer and like, oh yeah, so yeah, that promise better not be something about him getting with Felicity. It better have some damn meaning behind it and something awesome that comes out of it. That's all I gotta say about this episode. I want to know what you guys think. Do you like that Laurel died? Do you hate that Laurel died? What do you think the promise is gonna be about? Let me know in the comment sections down below. Guys and gals, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your mamas and your papas. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, guys, I'm your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. Have I had my daily dose of juice? See you guys next time. Bye!